All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. So, as we are inching closer and closer to the start of the 2026 Major League Baseball season, I want to take this time out to talk about all things in the National League Central. And of course, the Central last year produced three participants in the postseason. We saw the Milwaukee Brewers not only win this division, but they also had the best record in all of baseball. So, with that said, I think this is going to be an interesting division here for 2026. And I want to start off with the Chicago Cubs because after consecutive 83 win campaigns, we saw the Cubbies break through last year to win 92 games and qualify for the postseason. And even though that the Cubbies lost a tough series in the divisional round to the Milwaukee Brewers, will this be the year where we see them break through to overtake the Brewers in order to win the Central? Now, in free agency, we saw Chicago lose outfielder Kyle Tucker as he went to the already loaded Los Angeles Dodgers, but they did pick up veteran third baseman Alex Bregman. Now, Bregman is not going to replace Tucker in the outfield, but what about his bat in the lineup? A veteran guy like Bregman, who simply knows how to get it done. And he's bringing some championship experience to the Windy City with him from his time with the Houston Astros. Now, 2025 was a breakout year for outfielder Pete Crow Armstrong, but PCA's production did tail off down the stretch. Let's see if he's going to be able to put it together for an entire season. You've got veteran shortstop Dansby Swanson, as well as a very good outfield, excuse me, with the likes of Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki. Now, first baseman Michael Busch, he's looking to build off of his 34 home run campaign from a year ago. And then the Chicago pitching staff. I think it's going to once again be one of the best in the National League, and that's going to be key for the Cubs with the likes of Jameson Taillon, Matthew Boyd, and Shota Managa. Now, starting pitcher Cade Horton, he's going to look to build off of his strong rookie season that saw him win 11 games. And for Cubs manager Craig Counsell, let's see if he's going to be able to push all of the right buttons in order to get Chicago to the National League Central crown. Now, if the Cubs are going to break through and win the Central, they're going to have to dethrone the team from beer country that has won this division in 4 out of the last 5 years. And of course, I'm talking about the Milwaukee Brewers. One thing we know for sure, the Brewers as an organization know how to roll with the punches. You look at it a couple of years ago, they lost Willie Adames in free agency to the San Francisco Giants. In this offseason, they traded their ace, Freddie Peralta, to the New York Mets. But the Brewers just know how to roll with the punches. They rely on their system and they continue to get it done. And you just look at how they segued, first and foremost, at the managerial position from Craig Counsell, who left to go to the Cubs, to Pat Murphy. In 2 years under Murphy, the Brewers have just continued to roll. They've won the NL Central in each of the last 2 years. Now, Jackson Churio is a star in the making for Milwaukee. We just saw him turn 22 years of age, and the future is so bright for this young man. The rapid improvement of infielder Bryce Terang, and you look at the veteran in Christian Yelich. Hopefully Milwaukee can get another quality season out of him at the plate. Injuries in recent years have taken away from some of his effectiveness, but we saw Yelich still lead Milwaukee in home runs and runs batted in a year ago. Like I said before, losing starting pitcher Freddie Peralta to the Mets is going to hurt. He had 17 wins for Milwaukee, and he had more than 200 strikeouts in each of the last 3 years. Having a healthy Brandon Woodruff is going to be key for this Brewers rotation. And like I said before, Pat Murphy just knows how to push the right buttons. Which is why I believe that Milwaukee will once again be in the mix. We saw the Reds surprise a lot of people last year in year one under veteran and Hall of Fame head coach, in my opinion, Terry Francona, as they got to the postseason. They competed all season long, folks. And this was a scrappy team, and I think that kind of embodies the mindset of Terry Francona. But let's see if they're going to build off of that and do something even more here in 2026. The play of shortstop Ellie De La Cruz, he's got to cut down on his strikeouts. Very exciting player at the plate and in the field as well. But he has struck out more than 500 times in 3 years combined with Cincinnati. The Reds also signed Eugenio Suarez this offseason. Of course, he had a big year last year combined with Arizona and Seattle, of course, as he helped Seattle get to the American League Championship Series. And then, of course, his showing as he just helped Venezuela win the World Baseball Classic. Now, as far as pitching goes, the likes of Brady Singer and Andrew Abbott, will they be able to give the Reds an opportunity to compete in the Central? We've got to wait and see. Then there's the St. Louis Cardinals, who enter this season looking to avoid something as a franchise that they have not done in more than 30 years, which is missing the postseason for a fourth consecutive year. What to expect from the Cardinals this season? Are they rebuilding, or are they ready to once again make some noise in this division? The talent is not there like it's been, in recent years for St. Louis. As this team, to me, I think is dwindling down. I don't know where the Cardinal way is gone, and neither do the folks that follow this team. Okay. But if St. Louis is going to do something here in 2026, it's going to be because of players like first baseman Alec Burleson, as well as catcher Ivan Herrera. Now, losing starting pitcher Sonny Gray to the Boston Red Sox is going to hurt this rotation. He was traded there, but again, the Cardinals were 10th in the National League in team ERA last season, and I think at the end of the day, this has a potential to be another long summer in St. Louis. And then finally, there's the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you just got to wonder if the woes are going to continue for this team. 9 losing seasons in the last 10 years. And in each of the last two, rather, we've seen the Pirates finish in the basement of the Central. Now, one thing for sure, Paul Skeens, the phenomenal starting pitcher, is worth the price of admission and then some. But the bottom line is, Skeens can't do it himself. All right. And more often than not, the Pirates don't score runs when he's on the mound, in spite of the fact that he has a sub 2 ERA. Now, with Skeens leading the way, Pittsburgh did have the third lowest team ERA in the National League last year, but where will the rest of the pitching come from? Now, Pittsburgh is going to have to improve their offense if they want to compete. They were near the bottom of most offensive categories in the National League last year. They only hit 117 home runs, far and away the worst in baseball. Now, we did see the Pirates sign slugger and designated hitter Marcell Ozuna, but at the age of 35, how much more does he have left in the tank? The big thing for me is whether or not the Pirates can find a way to not finish in the basement of this division. When it's all said and done, we saw a contentious battle last year between the Cubs and the Brewers for the top spot in this division. And of course, the Brewers were just better than the Cubs. Make no mistake about it. I think there's going to be a battle once again this year. I think the Brewers take a slight step back, and I think Chicago is able to take advantage of that and squeak past them to win this division. But the Brewers, like I said before, they know how to roll with the punches as an organization. And again, in trading Peralta, they got a lot of young talent back from the Mets that's going to be in their system and is going to develop. And you watch out for this Brewers team to like once again really step up in a year or so. But nonetheless, that's not to say that Milwaukee cannot compete this year. St. Louis, I really don't know what's going on with this organization right now. The Reds are in a better place with Terry Francona, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for them to make the postseason this year. And then there's the Pittsburgh Pirates. After Paul Skeens, a whole lot of nothing going on for this organization. But at the end of the day, I think going into 2026, the Cubs are the favorites to win the Central. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw in this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you are on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check me out anytime at 300 pounds of sports. And like I always say, if you give me that follow, it'll be my pleasure to do the same in return. And that also goes for Instagram, and you can check me out at 300 pounds of sports knowledge. Also, if you are on Facebook, definitely be sure to check out the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports groups going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.